The Wilson family thought they had finally escaped the chaos of city life when they moved into a peaceful farmhouse in rural Connecticut. The air felt cleaner, the nights were silent, and the old wooden home held a strange charm. But peace was short-lived. On their very first night, their youngest daughter, Lily, began speaking to an invisible friend she called Anna. At first, her parents laughed it off, thinking it was her way of adjusting. But laughter turned to fear when Lily began waking up at 3:07 a.m., whispering to the dark corners of her room. Doors opened on their own, and a chilling draft blew through the hallways. When Tom, the father, discovered a sealed door behind the kitchen wall, curiosity overtook caution. He broke the wax seal, revealing a narrow stairway leading into darkness. The moment the door opened, a deafening silence fell across the house. That night, scratches appeared on every wall, deep and fresh. Lily was found standing before the open door, eyes wide and unblinking, muttering the words, "She's awake." The following days grew worse. Whispering voices echoed through the walls. The lights flickered without power. Karen, the mother, heard sobbing when she was alone, and the sound always came from inside the walls. When she pressed her ear close, she heard a slow scratching noise, as if something was clawing to get out. One morning, their dog was found dead near the porch, its body twisted unnaturally. A plumber called to fix the bathroom pipes uncovered a terrifying discovery: human bones hidden behind the tiles, wrapped in a decayed rosary. Panic set in. Karen reached out to Father Daniels, the town priest, who warned them that the house stood over cursed ground. He mentioned a family that vanished here in 1952. That night, the crying in the walls turned to screams, and blood began seeping from the cracks in the floor. Lily's laughter echoed through the house, but when they found her, her eyes were blank, her arms covered in bruises shaped like fingers. Something ancient had chosen her. Tom searched for answers, desperate to protect his family. In the dusty attic, he discovered an old diary bound in faded leather. The name Anna Holloway was written inside, along with disturbing entries describing rituals meant to keep the dark ones asleep beneath the floor. The last entry read, "If the seal breaks, the dead will speak again." When Tom showed it to Karen, the ink began to shift and rearrange before their eyes, forming new words. "You have broken the seal." Fear consumed them. The next morning, the diary was gone, as if it had never existed. Lily's drawings became horrifying. Images of their family hanging upside down surrounded by faceless shadows. Father Daniels returned, determined to confront the evil. But when he stepped into the basement, his crucifix turned black and the candles extinguished themselves. The air turned cold, and a whisper filled the room. She was never gone. Lily's behavior grew violent. She screamed at crosses, spoke in Latin, and clawed at her own reflection. Her voice would shift between hers and another, one deep, guttural, mocking. Father Daniels attempted a house blessing, but the entity ridiculed him using the voice of his late mother. Objects lifted into the air, smashing into walls. Karen recorded the chaos, desperate to prove their nightmare was real. That night, she woke to find herself levitating above the bed, whispering the same ancient words from the diary. Tom found her hovering over the basement door, murmuring, "Anna is awake." On the floor below, strange symbols appeared, carved deep into the wood, glowing faintly in red. When they checked the mirrors, they saw a shadow standing behind Lily, watching, waiting. Father Daniels warned that this was no mere haunting. It was an invitation. A blood moon rose, staining the sky in crimson. The whispers turned to chanting. The walls bled freely now, and the ground trembled as if something beneath was stirring. Karen found an old newspaper revealing Anna Holloway's story, burned alive beneath the farmhouse for witchcraft. Her final curse: "My soul will bind to this soil." That night, Lily vanished. Her terrified screams echoed from under the floorboards. Tom tore through the basement, uncovering a hidden chamber filled with bones, melted candles, and burned dolls. The air was thick with decay. He called for his daughter, but her voice answered from everywhere at once, saying, "She's part of me now." Father Daniels realized the blood moon completed the ritual. To end it, the chamber must be sealed again. With a life, Tom decided to sacrifice himself. He knew the entity wanted them all, but hoped one life might be enough. Father Daniels prepared a final exorcism as Karen filmed in tears, clutching the cross. The walls shook, voices screamed, and fire burst from the cracks in the floor. Lily reappeared, her eyes glowing white. She smiled and whispered, "Anna is free." Karen, desperate, sliced her hand and painted protective symbols in blood. The priest fell, screaming as ghostly hands dragged him toward the fire. Tom lunged into the pit, slamming the door shut from within. The chanting stopped instantly. Silence swallowed the house. Karen and Lily escaped into the dawn, numb and broken, leaving behind the ashes of everything they loved. Weeks passed. Karen and Lily lived in a motel, trying to forget. But the nightmares didn't stop. The story hit the news as the Connecticut possession. Paranormal teams explored the ruins, finding Tom's camera. When they played it, they saw faint shadows whispering, "Thank you for the offering." Karen broke down watching it. Lily began drawing again. This time, the farmhouse, with a window showing her father's face smiling in the dark. Karen turned on the TV, trembling, as breaking news reported a new family moving into a rebuilt farmhouse on the same land. Their daughter's name was Anna. Karen couldn't stay away. Driven by guilt, she returned to the property to warn the new family. The moment she stepped inside, the air shifted, cold, heavy, alive. Whispers greeted her from every direction. "Welcome home, Karen." The house pulsed, the walls breathing as though filled with life. She found the little girl, Anna, standing at the basement door holding Lily's old doll. Anna looked up, eyes glowing red, and whispered, "She's been waiting for you." The door slammed shut. The camera dropped, capturing Karen's final scream. The screen flickered to black. The last image was the farmhouse glowing under the moonlight, laughter echoing faintly. A year later, the house went up for sale again.